now at 11.
The last thing you want to do is take a risk.
Watching the water. Communities across the region are on alert tonight as the rain continues to fall. What's being done to prepare for potential flooding?
Then,
just trying to get everything out that we can possibly get out.
Thousands of people evacuating their homes as the rivers and streams continue to rise.
and
We're tracking more heavy rain across central and eastern Pennsylvania tonight. Flash flood warnings and river forecast levels. It's all in your Weather Authority forecast.
this is WBRE Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Candace Kelly.
And I'm Drew Spire. Once again, Mother Nature is taking aim at northeastern and central Pennsylvania. All eyes are on creeks, streams, and the swollen Susquehanna River.
Now, the evacuations are being heeded by people who live in some of those low-lying areas just to the north of Wilkes-Barre.
Many of those people being asked to evacuate their homes earlier today. Let's switch now to our Joe Holden. He is on the Market Street Bridge in downtown Wilkes-Barre tonight. Joe, what's going on there for us?
Drew and Candace, we wish we had better news to tell you, but let's go ahead and let the pictures do the talking. Behind me, they are getting ready to shut down the Market Street Bridge and erect what is a flood wall that basically goes across the Market Street Bridge and protects the city from what would be an inundation right through the Market Street Bridge. Of course, with the rain still falling out here, what was already bad news has simply seemed to have gone to worse news. In West Pittston, the National Guard Armory's doors are sandbagged.
That's what's worrying me the most. I've never seen nothing like this.
People along Susquehanna Avenue were boarding up windows. Low-lying towns up and down the river prepare for inundation.
We live on the first floor, so we either have to pick all our stuff up or just see what happens and hope for the best.
In Jenkins Township, firefighters go door to door. So what are they telling you tonight?
Telling me that we have to evacuate by midnight, and it's a mandatory evacuation.
Are you prepared to do that?
Yes.
When you woke up this morning, is this the last thing you thought you'd be doing?
Yeah, I sure did. Until supper time tonight, I heard him say 38 feet.
A projected 38-foot crest means places like River Road in Jenkins Township will be underwater.
Yeah, it's very shocked because it
28 feet.
right.
If we ask you to leave, leave.
In Wilkes-Barre, city leaders say they're armed with plans should a mass evacuation have to be ordered.
The last thing you want to do is take a risk. I'd much rather see people drive their cars out of a floodplain than go out in a boat.
Several blocks from City Hall, workers began the task of closing the Market Street Bridge and erecting floodgates. The mayor said he wouldn't have called such a meeting if the possibility of an evacuation wasn't looming.
If we get news like we received this afternoon where it went from 30 to 38 feet and now we're looking at a higher level, we're going to let the people know right away if we think they should leave tonight.
We're back live, and unfortunately that projection has climbed to 38.5 feet. It's what the city and county officials have been watching all day. Just about 12 hours ago, the projection was at 28 feet, so now taking that a whole 10.5 feet higher, it really is a game changer out here. So, of course, what is yet to fall to the north of us really makes the situation down here one to continue to watch. We're live along the Market Street Bridge in Wilkes-Barre. Joe Holden, Eyewitness News.
Okay, Joe, thank you.
Flash flood warnings in effect tonight. The main concern in about the next 6 to 10 hours, streams, creeks, and ponding of water on the roads. If you live by a high running stream or creek, keep an eye on it. Be careful. I'm sure you know what to do. The Susquehanna River at Wilkes-Barre. Right now, it's at 13 feet, rising. The forecasted crest by Friday morning is 38.5 feet. Loyalsock Creek, 19 feet at Loyalsockville. The crest, 22 feet tonight. Towanda Creek at Monroeton, 19 feet rising. The crest is 20 feet, and that will happen tonight as well. Drew and Candace, the 38.5-foot projected crest along the Susquehanna River at Wilkes-Barre is an early estimate. There's a tendency for these early estimates to be high, and they do have a tendency to fluctuate. So you want to keep checking back here, and as we get the new information in, we will be sure to pass it along to you.
Sounds good, Josh. Thank you.
The river now is just over 27 feet and rising really fast. That's over the low-lying flood stage of 22 feet. The levee is 41 feet in the Wyoming Valley. And look at that crest now. Over 39.5 feet is the projection late tonight or early tomorrow morning, about 8 o'clock or so on Friday morning. If that projection, again, and this is a projection or a forecast, not a guarantee, that would bring the top of the river level, the water, up within 18 inches of the top of the levee walls throughout the Wyoming Valley.
Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Beeville is live at EMA headquarters with the latest. Jeremy?
Well, good morning, Kyla. And we've been sort of sequestered in the media room here at the Luzerne County EMA Center. And the reason for that, there are about a dozen, maybe a few more county, township officials. And I think I see some National Guard troops in there. And they are about to be briefed by the National Weather Service regarding some of these projected crests and exactly what is expected out of all this rainfall that we've been seeing. Of course, yesterday it was the smaller creeks and streams that we were looking at that were causing problems. Now the focus is shifting over to the Susquehanna River. As you heard Dave say, the forecasted crest of about 39.5 feet will bring us very close to the top of the levee. And of course, those areas not protected by the levee here in Luzerne County already seeing a little bit of minor flooding, and certainly there will be much more to come as this day goes on and even into tomorrow, of course. Some of those areas, of course, being West Pittston. Come forward and show you these green posts right along the side here. Those actually, when we were here about an hour and a half ago, where the water was just starting to inch up to them. Now, as you can see, they are almost covered. That is how fast the water is rising here, and certainly no end in sight. It is going to come up much higher before this is done. We've been telling you all morning, 65,000 people here in the Wyoming Valley being urged for a mandatory evacuation. Again,
people are still going and looking at the river, walking right up to the levee. They're actually parking their cars along roads where emergency crews need to get in. They're blocking emergency access. So again, they are urging people to please stop looking at the river. And even the Cross Valley is getting backed up because people are driving slowly to get any look at what they can at the river. So again, we cannot urge people to do that enough, Kyla.
All right, thank you so much, Shannon. For those of you who are trying to go out there and get a look at yourself, don't take the risk. Just go straight to our Facebook page, WBRE Eyewitness News. We have pictures coming in from people all across the region. Again, we ask you to stay safe. We appreciate your pictures, but first and foremost, your safety is important to us.
Our live coverage continues from a different location. We are at the Fox 56 studios in Plains Township because we moved our location from our studios in Wilkes-Barre at 3:30 because we were evacuated a little bit earlier today. And Candace, this is some of that video of our own station.
Yeah, we, like everybody else in Wilkes-Barre area, we had to pack up our stuff and move. And when you're talking about TV station, that involves a lot of equipment and manpower, a lot of sensitive equipment too, that we packed up and moved here to Plains Township at the Fox 56 Wolf TV studios. We're very grateful that they opened their arms and their home to us so that we could continue to give you the most up-to-date information as much as possible.
And we have moved to this location where we will remain. But as you mentioned, Candace, it was quite an effort getting over here and getting on the air on time as close to 3:30 as possible because like anybody else, we had to get out of there and seek higher ground as well. And thankfully, Fox 56 opened up their doors and their studios to us, and this is where we will remain, and we thank them for that and thank them for giving us the opportunity to provide a public service to our viewers.
The crest still expected to be at 40.8 feet at 2 a.m. tonight. We've been talking about the last few days. This is really the first time we've seen that projected crest actually work out or come out higher than what it's been, only because the rain continued for days. Very similarly, back to what happened in 1972, where it was 3 or 4 days worth of rain from here on north. That led to the Agnes flood of 1972. And here we are in 2011, right now at that 38.1 foot river level. That's the second highest in recorded history on the Susquehanna River. The latest stage I have in out of Mashopin is 44.1 feet. The river there continues to rise. It has outdone the historic crest of 43.5 from back in 1972. So right now in Mashopin, Wyoming County, the Susquehanna River more than a half a foot higher than what it was back with the 1972 flood. It's beyond what the River Forecast Center said the crest would be. So you can see at this point a couple of homes there with water approaching the second floor.
All of the lights throughout the city of Wilkes-Barre are out. There are power outages spread out across the city for a number of reasons. This place is about as eerie as I think a place could get. Even in 2006, we saw police, kind of directing traffic. The National Guard was kind of they were in good spirits. Tonight, this is all hands on deck. We are looking at the eyes of officials who you can tell how you read into these things, and you read facial expressions, and you can just tell how serious they are taking this. And I got to tell you, and so are we.
Our Eric Dable is just back from Bradford County. He's brought some video, and he's been all over the place, and Sullivan County as well. And I believe he's just outside the Fox 36 studios in the garage here with more on what he has seen
Drew and
today.
Candace, yeah, for the past several days, ever since the Susquehanna started to rise, we've really wanted to get to the northern tier to show our viewers kind of some of the damage there. We literally just got back in from Bradford County. We went from Luzerne up through Sullivan and into Bradford. A lot of ways through the back ways. That's because a lot of the main roads, the arteries that people rely on day in and day out right now are closed. A big chunk of Route 6 in the Wyalusing area closed. Some of the bridges that connect Wyalusing Township to Terry Township closed. Some of the roads absolutely washed out in certain portions. We saw a lot of devastation amongst communities right along the Susquehanna River. We talked about the crest there as being a little bit under what was it during Hurricane Agnes, but still it is certainly enough to devastate some of the communities up in the northern tier. We start with some video from the Sugar Run area. Now let's take a look at that.
Oh, we do got mail! Oh. Mail!
The only way for people to get to the mailbox is by boat right now in the Sugar Run area of Bradford County. Homes are submerged and entire roads underwater.
It's bad, really bad. This is the second time we've been flooded out.
Sharon Pickett showed us inside her home. Water filled the first floor. She says the damage is worse now than during Hurricane Agnes in '72.
It's going to be at least 3 months before you could ever get back in it, and probably longer because I think we have to tear walls out.
Across the river, the Susquehanna flooded the baseball and softball fields in the Wyalusing School District, along with the district's new soccer field.
It's kind of sad that we haven't gotten to play a game on it yet.
And now it looks like you're going to be spending a lot of time cleaning it up.
Yeah, I guess we all have to contribute to clean it up a little.
For those people who didn't have damage, they came out Friday to see the mighty river roar. People say with so many roads closed in Bradford County, it's tough just getting around.
We can't get on that side of the river unless you go Towanda, or got to go due shore and around and down that way.
It humbles you that it's amazing the power of Mother Nature.
Both sides of that real deeply.
You heard one of the guys there talking just about how difficult it was to get from point A to point B, and that's really the case all over parts of the northern tier. There is some good news right now in parts of Sullivan County. A big chunk of Route 220, which is the main drag from the Sonestown area up through LaPorte and into Dewshore, that reopened today. People are very happy about that. Parts of the roads still closed out going towards the Forksville area of Sullivan County. We obviously just got back. We're going to work on some more video from Sullivan County, including Sonestown, which took a very hard hit from the flash flooding, especially on Wednesday. Not so much the Susquehanna River, obviously, because it's not on the river, but the flash flooding there really devastated many homes in the Sonestown community, many of them condemned tonight. We'll have more on that part of the story coming up a little later. Candace and Drew.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for traveling all over to the areas that we're not able to get to as easily as we'd like to.
If we're talking about West Pittston, we have to continue to recognize that it is that dark hole behind me tonight. That is West Pittston. That area, I think it's safe to say, has been decimated by this flooding catastrophe. You have to think now, as I was just talking to some of Pittston City's finest, that the current of this river has been hitting those homes now for some 30 hours when they began to go underwater, and that force continues to reckon with those homes. So as you look out and it is just a black hole of nothing, there are so many sad stories. We were in West Pittston earlier today by boat, and we saw some of the devastation, but clearly tonight it is ringing true as we are now edging away from this major flood stage ever so slowly, and really the desperation on that side of the river. It couldn't be any more of a different world than where we are standing tonight in Pittston.
The historic flood of 2011 is set to leave a lasting impression on people up and down the Susquehanna River and beyond. Right now, people are still coming to grips with the devastation.
Some of those people are in hard-hit West Pittston, and our Joe Holden is live for us tonight there with more. Joe?
Candace and Drew, good evening. And the people up here are dealing with desperate times. On this side of the street are the entire contents of the West Pittston Library. And all down this side of the streets, the lives of people out by the curbside just washed away by the floodwaters, now caked in mud. People here want help. They want to be brought out of despair. It's a tour that breaks the heart. Tons of drowned possessions line the streets of what was a picturesque place called the Garden Village.
It looks like a war zone here in West Pittston, which was a beautiful town.
People work 12, some 15 hours to beat what the river left behind. The stench lingers, and there's dust everywhere. Kicked up by the mud that is now dried and cracked.
That's all my walls ripped out.
Amanda Cawley hadn't even moved into the house she bought in May. It's now flood ravaged.
I cried, and then I put my galoshes on here, and I put my gloves on and my mask, and you just go right in.
At the West Pittston Library.
Opened the door and it looked like a bomb had gone off.
The heart of this community was turned upside down in more ways than can be described.
I hyperventilated and kind of thought, okay, what's the next step?
State and federal leaders are here.
Now, my goal is that we get to the point where the disaster declaration is signed by the president so we can get them federal help.
Many homeowners never had flood insurance simply because they didn't qualify.
I want to stand here with you 12 months from now and tell you that we're on the road to recovery, and a lot of these people are back in those homes.
That road to recovery is a dangerous one tonight.
They really need to help the people and make this a safer area.
The soul of this prideful town is in the message. Even as dozens of hours will go to bring the place back, the work won't be easy.
People say, what can I do to help? Well, come on over. Bring a tray of pizza and a case of Miller Lite and come on down.
Back live out here, a sense of humor will help you for a little bit, but there are the signs of life. The irony, though, along the curb, the signs of reality as we just see people's possessions lining up and down almost every street on this side of the borough. And then there are the signs of safety. Dust masks are really the tools of the trade as we go on through this process. And we do have reports tonight that Vice President Joseph Biden is expected in town, possibly on Friday, though at this point there are only reports confirmed by one source. That is the latest live from West Pittston. I'm Joe Holden, Eyewitness News.
Joe, thank you.